Thank you for this kind introduction, and I'd like in particular to thank the Secretariat for inviting me to this very interesting panel discussion here. I'd like to speak about this Nord Stream project and the Espoo Convention, and in view of the time limits, just to give you a few key words about the project, and then jump immediately to the lessons learned from the procedures. The Nord Stream project is a natural gas pipeline, for those of you who don't know it, running through the Baltic Sea from the northeast, from Viborg in the Russian Federation, to the southwest, Stralsund in Germany, within the territorial waters and all the exclusive economic zones of 5 countries of origin, the Russian Federation, Finland, Sweden, Denmark and Germany. It's about 1,200 kilometers long and consists of 2 parallel pipes, each with a diameter of about 1.15 meters. It has a maximum transport capacity of 55 billion cubic meters of gas per year, and it required 1 or more permits by each of the countries of origin. Now, seen from the point of view of the Espoo Convention, a special feature is that each of these countries of origin is at the same time affected as well by those parts of the pipeline outside their territorial waters or exclusive economic zones, and that it affects in addition all the other Baltic countries, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania and Poland. It's also important to notice that all concerned countries, except the Russian Federation, are parties to the Espoo Convention, but the Russian Federation agreed to apply the convention in this particular case so that the Espoo provisions were applicable over the whole length of the pipeline. The licensing and EIA processes took place between 2008 and 2010, and construction of the 2 parallel pipes followed in 2011 and 2012. They're now completed, and the project, the pipeline, is in operation. Now, coming now to the lessons learned. First, a general thought: large-scale projects of this kind, with several countries of origin and potentially affecting the environment both of these countries and of other countries, have special features distinguishing them from smaller bilateral projects. And that makes it expedient in each case of this kind to develop some additional procedural requirements supplementing those laid down in the Espoo Convention. And I've tried to specify this in 7 items. In the case of the Nord Stream pipeline, the Convention required 40 bilateral contacts between countries, and 5 different national EIA procedures had to be managed. In order to avoid confusion, it would be advantageous for all concerned countries to cooperate continuously and closely during the whole planning and permit processes. Thus, for instance, a steering group could be set up that would meet regularly and would have as its mandate to keep the transboundary EIA process under the Convention transparent and clear. Second item, the countries of origin should strive to reach as far as possible to harmonize their national EIA and permit procedures for the project, for instance by agreeing on scoping requirements as far as these relate to transboundary impacts, and by setting an agreed time frame for public participation in each country. Thirdly, also an overall EIA documentation is important, which will have to deal not only with the partial, with parts of the project as far as they relate to each affected country, but also will give an overall view over the whole project so that impacts can be captured that go beyond the scale of one particular country. Fourth item, public participation should as well cover in each country of origin the whole project and all its environmental impacts. The public should therefore be in a position to comment not just on those impacts within the respective country's own territory or exclusive economic zone, but also on the impacts outside these areas. Fifth item, both public participation and consultation of the countries may be difficult due to the fact that the EIA documentation tends to be very voluminous. That would call for enough time to allow to the public and to the consulted countries for information and for comments. Participation of the public and consultation can also be furthered by preparing, in addition to the EIA documentation, brief fact sheets and those environmental impacts which, in view of the project, are particularly relevant. Sixth item goes beyond that. It may be useful also to cooperate even more closely by carrying out a joint EIA for the whole project. That, of course, depends on the nature, size and location of the project and also the number of countries involved. The concerned countries should discuss this matter as early as possible. That means well before an application for a permit has been handed in. Seventh and last point, it should be avoided that the permit decisions taken by one country of origin contradicts that of another. Thus, each country of origin should be fully informed of the state of the permit process in all the other countries of origin, and also of the content of their intended decisions. In this way, the envisaged measures for environment protection to be included in the permits may also be developed simultaneously and in a harmonized way in all countries of origin, and therefore they might possibly be made more effective by using synergies. And finally, general thoughts for long-term development. Ideally, a logical consequence in the long term would be to substitute the national permits by a single permit decision issued jointly by all countries of origin. That, however, seems rather difficult in actual practice, as is obvious, because it would require, of course, that all these countries and the affected countries as well would agree formally and well in advance upon such a joint procedure and decision. Thank you very much.